told y'all I'd be back after I got Nate. And here I am. Okay. Lordy mercy. There we go. Okay. So, what I'm trying to do, it is so muggy outside today, y'all. Ugh, I hate when it's like that. Okay. I was thinking of having a guest speaker on tonight. On here. And I was thinking what I'll do is we can, I'll do a little eyeshadow look. And we can chit chat. And all that good stuff, y'all. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to decide what color I want to put on my eyes. Hold on a second. Nathaniel, you're a big boy. Pick them up and put them in the back. Thank you. Come on, Nate. You can do it. Nathaniel, you can do it. Be a big boy. Okay? I love you. Mercy, that boy. Mercy. Okay. Let me light this candle too, y'all. Because it smells good when I light the candles. Okay. All right. You know what I hate about certain candles? This one in particular. It don't burn even, dude. I hate that. Okay, I'm going to do an eye makeup look. Because my makeup looks pretty good. So that's what we're going to do. And I have a really colorful tie-dyed shirt on today. And it's like, yes. Okay. Let's get this set. Okay. I'm excited to have Rick on tonight to share his story, y'all. Like, I'm really excited about it. I love. You know what? That's what we're going to do right now. Buckle up, y'all. Story time.
Jenna threw up.
Really?
She's eating her throw up.
Okay. Well,
it's just a french fry.
We'll let Daddy know. Okay, I love you. Okay, I'm going to tell you all my story. Okay, here we go. So first and foremost, what's up, you guys? My name is Nicole. I'm a grateful recovering addict. I have been sober since July 13th of 2015. My story is like a lot of other people's story. When I was younger, I was really struggled with insecurity. I wasn't sure of myself, and I'm going to tell you why. But first, I got to tell you how I came to be. So, my mom is Mexican and my dad is Italian, okay? And my mom and dad met in the Air Force, all right? They met in the Air Force and they fell in love fighting over the last piece of pizza. Honey, that's right. My family and I, we love to eat. So, while they were fighting over the last piece of pizza, my dad was like, damn, this woman is something else. I'm going to make her mine. And so he did. Well, they were stationed here in Jacksonville, Arkansas, on the Jacksonville Air Force Base. And so my dad wanted to take my mom back to New York to meet his family, his mom and his dad. And so that's what they did. They moved up to New York and moved into my grandmother's basement. Okay? Well, my grandmother is an Italian lady, okay? And she really wanted my dad to marry an Italian woman. So she was disappointed when my dad brought home a Mexican woman. Which, not cool. So much to the point where she basically told him that she didn't want them there. And so my parents had just given birth to me March 8th of 1982. And so they packed up and they brought me back to Arkansas, and we moved to Jacksonville, right by the Air Force Base where my parents worked. And so that's what happened. Then they decided to start having more kids. So my mom had me in March of 1982, my sister Michelle in November of 85, and my sister Christine in May of 86 or 87, I'm not sure. But I have two little sisters. So growing up, my life growing up, you guys, was amazing. I want to tell you that my parents did everything they could to ensure that I had everything that I needed. They did everything they could to make sure that me and my sisters had braces. Hey, Jordan, what's up, girl? That we had braces, that we were in extracurricular activities, that we went to the doctor regularly, all those things. My parents took really good care of us. Now, my dad has always worked for the United States Postal Service. He started out as a clerk, and he worked his way up to being a postmaster, which is the guy that's over the post office, right? And so he worked his way up and became postmaster. Oh, hey, Eli. What are you doing? What are you doing, buddy? Tell your mama I said hi. Nate. Nathaniel. Nate. I'm going to have Nate come say hi to you, okay? Anyways, my dad worked his way up to being the postmaster, and that put my family in a pretty good position because it was a good paying job. And so, okay? So growing up, me and my baby super duper close, okay? We were so close, and we did everything together. And that's how it was when we were younger. Now, I also really struggled with low self-esteem. My mom always built me up. My mom always encouraged me and told me that I was beautiful and that I was smart and everything like that. But your mom can tell you that a million times, and if you don't feel it in your heart, then you're not gonna feel that way. And that's how it was for me. I was struggling. I didn't feel that in my heart, and I started to struggle with my weight. And I started seeking out ways to lose weight. And that is when I found amphetamines. That's when I found, ephedra at first. First, I found ephedra. I started taking many thins, and I'm talking lots of them. Hey, Nathaniel! Come here. Eli wants to say hi to you. I started taking many thins. Come and say hi to Eli.
Huh?
Eli's on my live stream. Say hi.
Hi.
He's right there. That's his mom's picture, but he's here.
Cool.
Okay? He said hi. So, he misses you. Anyways, I started struggling with my weight at a young age. I started withholding, starving myself. I started purging, and I was just so self-conscious about my weight. Now, I went to school with predominantly white kids, and so growing up and going to school with no other mixed, people, I felt like I didn't fit in from the jump. Another thing that made me feel like I didn't fit in was my mom raised me and my sisters in a Pentecostal church. Do y'all know what that is? Pentecostal? When I tell you guys, I grew up sleeping underneath the pews of the Pentecostal church. I grew up with ladies speaking in tongues and doing backflips up and down the aisle in the church. It was really, really, really it was a good church though, and the people there were good. So Pentecostal is United Pentecostal. And what they believe in is they believe in I think it's the Old Testament that they really, really believe in. And so what they do is they have you can't wear makeup, you can't cut your hair, you can't get your ears pierced, you can't wear pants, you can only wear dresses. They have to go below your knees and below your elbows. You can't show any skin. Basically, women have to be super duper modest, And so that was the kind of church that I went to. So imagine me, 6, 7 years old, and not being able to wear the same clothes as the other kids. So I immediately started to notice that I was different, and I also started to get picked on as a kid. Okay? So getting picked on for not being able to dress like everybody else and for struggling with my weight, it made me turn to starvation, to starving myself and withholding food for myself. I'll never forget it. By the time I was about 14 years old, I had began starving myself, and I lost 55 pounds that summer. And when I went into school the next year, everybody noticed. Everybody noticed me. Everybody was talking about how good I looked and how pretty I was, and they had never said that before. And this is what's so messed up about society is that, I'm a beautiful woman, big, small, left, right, whatever, right? But when I was a kid, having people tell me, oh, wow, you look so great. After I just spent a summer starving myself, that reinforced that negative behavior. Okay. And so I was like, wow, if I'm skinny, people like me. So I want to stay skinny, right? So I kept on withholding food and I kept starving myself. By the time I was 15, 16 years old, I got into a relationship with a boy named Robert, and he was my first love, my first everything, if you know what I mean. And Robert smoked pot and he drank alcohol. And he went to the inner city school called Hot Springs High, and I went to the country school called Lake Hamilton. So I'm telling you guys, I fell in love with him. He was tall, dark, and handsome, brown hair, green eyes, just a good-looking guy. And he was sweet. He was kind. He loved me. Do you know what I'm saying? And so we were together for 5 years. We were together for 5 years, all my high school career, and then a year after I graduated. And I started drinking alcohol, y'all. I started drinking alcohol, and this was my first, kind of started to go partying, okay? So I just want you to close your eyes and imagine 16 and a half, 17-year-old Nicole at her first party. And it's a keg party, okay? It's a cake party, and everybody is out there. All the people that played football, basketball, cheerleaders. I was a cheerleader, everyone. And so I started to drink. And when I started to drink and I felt the drink go into me, it was like automatic relief. I automatically felt like this is what I've been looking for all my life. Oh my gosh, I can finally be me. I finally feel normal. I don't feel like I have to be somebody different. I can be me. And alcohol helped me to do that, right? It gave me a false sense of confidence. And so once I got a taste of that, I wanted more. I got so bad off on alcohol that I was drinking vodka on the way to school with orange juice. I was doing keg stands topless in front of everybody at these parties. I was really, really, really going wild. And along with my alcoholism came promiscuity. I had a boyfriend and I was cheating on him. And I was running around with all my girlfriends to different parties and stuff. And I started cheating on my boyfriend. Well, my senior year, by the time I had reached my senior year, you guys, I had literally lost everything. I was making straight D's, okay? And I barely passed high school. The only reason why I passed was because Coach Clay had pity on me, you guys, and he passed me. Okay? So once he passed me, I went into college because all my friends were going into college. But Nicole can't just go into college and do the right thing. I have to start doing methamphetamine. I started smoking and snorting methamphetamine daily. okay? I got a job working at a makeup counter where I did people's makeup, and when I tell you guys, I was good at it. I was damn good at doing people's makeup. What had happened, though, was I might have been good at doing people's makeup, but you can't freaking steal from your job. You can't give the dope man products from your job, and that's what I was doing. And I ended up losing that job. After I lost my job there, I went ahead and got another job, which is something that you'll hear a lot about in my story, is that I was always able to find another job. And I stayed employed for the majority of my addiction. Because, I mean, sure, I could get drugs for free sometimes, but the majority of the time, I had to pay. So I had to fund my habit, right? So after I lost that job, I started working for Shoe Carnival. And they quickly promoted me, because I always get promoted at my jobs because I'm a hard fucking worker. I'm a hard worker, and I'm hella consistent. And so I got promoted at my job, and I was using methamphetamine daily. I was using methamphetamine daily, and I was going to work. I was bringing it to work with me, and I was sharing it with a girl that I worked with, and I was really just wasting away to nothing. At this time, I was probably about 120 pounds dripping wet. And for me, that's very, very, very thin, because my cheeks get very sunk in, and then my eyes get very sunk in. But still, I don't see a problem. I'm not like, oh, I'm an addict, I need to get help, right? I still think that I'm just having a good time. I'm not hurting anybody. You know, I can't. It's just fun, and it's helping me stay skinny, right? It's helping me stay skinny, and it's helping me feel confident and have energy, so this can't be bad. Well, honey, it's only going to get worse from here. One night after work, I went over to my friend Flash's house. He was a manufacturer. He cooked methamphetamine. And so I was over at Flash's house, and out from the back room came this guy with dark brown hair and green eyes. And he was about 5'9". Well, that was LD. And he was going to be my new boyfriend. I gave him my number, and he called me 2 days later. And I went over to see him and meet him. And don't you guys know, he had no car, no job, no place to live. And he was on probation. Well, don't you know me? I'm here to save the day. I'm going to help you, is what I said. I said, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you get off probation. I'm going to help you get a car. I'm going to help you, find a place to live, or we can get a place together. I'm going to help you. And that's exactly what I did. See, I've always loved helping people. My efforts were just misdirected because I was in active addiction. I've always loved helping people. And so by the time we started dating, about a month or two later, we had moved into our own little apartment, which I'm about to tell y'all a story about. It was horrible. Okay? We had moved into our own little apartment. And I had paid off all of his probation fines, and I had helped him get a job. So we move in to this little 1-bedroom efficiency apartment. This was the first time I ever moved into like my own place, right? When I tell you guys this, it was disgusting. There was roaches on the roaches. I would talk to these roaches. I was naming them, y'all. John, Juan, Pedro, Jose, Tom, Timothy, all kinds of stuff, okay? It was bad. The roaches had roaches. One night we were doing it, and I looked up, and there was a roach on his shoulder this big. And so I just flicked him off. Get out of my face, Jose. So, it was bad. Well, we stayed there for about 5 months, and my parents really wanted to come see where I was living, and I kept blowing them off and telling them no, because I knew once they came, they were going to flip their lid. This is the Anastasia Jackie Ina palette from, I think, 2 years ago. And so my mom and dad finally bulldogged their way into the house, and I let him in, and my dad freaked the fuck out. He was like, there is no way that my daughter is staying here. And that's when my mom started helping me look for a trailer. My mom found me and him a nice little trailer that was partly furnished, and we moved in, and it was great. It was such a nice little trailer, you guys. Well, all was well for a short period of time. See, when I started dating him, many people came to me and said, he is abusive. He will hit you, Nicole. Listen to us. He will hit you. But I thought I could change him. So I was like, no, he won't. He's not going to hit me. I'm different. I'm different. The first time he ever physically hurt me was when we were in my car, and he threw my car into oncoming traffic. And my car was totaled, and then he ran and fled the scene. At that moment right there, I should have left him. I should have ran for the hills, but I didn't. You know why I didn't? Because I had no self-esteem. I had no self-love. I didn't believe in myself. I thought I deserved to be treated nasty. So for the next 5 years, I endured beatings from him. I'll never forget one of the first times he hit me in front of his whole family. It was the most embarrassing moment of my whole entire life, because we were all hanging out, and I had ordered us all Taco Bell. Me, yeah, I paid for it, right? I had ordered us all Taco Bell. Yeah, it is. I'm telling my whole story, girl. I had ordered us all Taco Bell, and we were all sitting around talking and laughing. I think we were smoking some weed or something like that. And the next thing I know, I didn't even have time to know what it was for or what I did wrong. The next thing I knew, I had a supreme bean burrito shoved in my eyeball. And I stood up, and I was upset, and I was crying. And that's when he took it upon himself to throw a sippy cup full of milk at my face. And it hit me right in the forehead. Right here. That's where I got stitches. So the moment it hit me in my forehead, I knew that it was going to bleed. I knew it. And blood just started pouring down my face. And I started crying my eyes out. Well, I was so embarrassed. His whole family just sat there and watched him do this to me. All of them. Nobody tried to stop him. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. This was something that he had obviously done to other women. So I went in my bedroom, and I laid down, and I bled, and I bled, and I bled. And I passed out. And when I finally woke up, I was in a pool of my own blood. And it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I need to go to the hospital. And so he took me to the hospital. He was apologizing all over himself. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And when the nurse asked me what happened, I said, I fell and I hit my head on the weight bench. That would be the first time that I lied to cover his ass. But it wouldn't be the last. When I returned back to work, I started a new job working for the state of Arkansas. I actually used to work for Arkansas State doing car tags and insurances, working for the DMV. And so I went back to work, and my bosses all noticed that I had like a black eye and some stitches. And so they had asked me what happened. And I lied, and I said, I fell and I hurt myself. They knew. My boss, Alinda, she knew. She knew right away that it was a lie. And she pulled me to the back and told me, that she loved me and that she was here for me, and that her and her husband, that they would take me in if I wanted to come stay with them, But I was too stubborn, and I was like, no, it's okay. It'll be okay. He's going to change. He's not going to do that again. It was just an isolated incident, right? I was making excuses, covering for him abusing me. Because like I said, I thought that I didn't deserve any better. I thought that I deserved to get beaten like a dog. Well, Because I didn't stand up to him and because I didn't leave him, the abuse continued and it only got worse. I finally got away from him after one night of him pounding my face into the concrete floor to the point where my head was swollen this big, and I drove to my parents' house and they didn't even recognize me. I was unrecognizable in my face. He had beaten me so bad that I had peed on myself, all over myself. No, my husband loves me and he is so proud of me and he loves hearing me share my stories because he knows I'm helping you guys. And so after that happened, I remember coming to my parents' house and I asked them, I said, can I just sleep here tonight? I need to work. I have to go to work at 11. I'm just going to sleep here tonight, right? And my mom was like, you are not going to work. And she said, we're going to the hospital. So she took me to the hospital and I had a major concussion, you guys. It was so bad. Every time I tried to stand up, I would fall backwards because I had no equilibrium. It was all bad. Okay? So after that beating, you would think I would have left and stayed gone for good, right? Like I told you guys, I was broken. I was a broken soul. And so what did I do? I forgave him and I went back. But I wouldn't be there for long. So I went back and I had been cheating on him behind his back. And I had gotten pregnant with my friend Jason's baby. My friend Jason was going to prison because he had had an accident and killed somebody while driving under the influence. So I called my sister because I didn't know what to do. And I asked her to help me. And I had an abortion. After that, I got super depressed and I was just going to work and coming home. I was working at the revenue office and I was working at Sonic. I was working 2 fucking jobs to support him and his fucking sister and his fucking brother and their kids that were living in our house. One night I came home super late, was fucked up on a bunch of pills, went into my bedroom, he wasn't home, and I laid down and I passed out and I went to sleep. When I had went to sleep, I had taken all my rings off. I loved jewelry. I still do. But I loved jewelry and I had a Zales credit card at the time. I had really good credit back then, you guys, because like I said, I worked really hard. Even though I was on drugs, I still worked. So I had a Zales credit card and I had bought all these beautiful diamond rings. Well, every night when I would go to bed, I would take the rings off and put them in my little jewelry box thing and then, go to sleep. Well, that's what I had done. The next morning I woke up and he was nowhere to be found. Gone. Never came home, in fact. Or at least I didn't see him. Well, I thought he hadn't come home. He had came home long enough to step into that room and to steal all my jewelry. And anything that really had any, value. And so I was calling his sister, I was calling his phone that I paid for. I was doing everything. And nobody was answering. So I went down the hallway to his dad's room. And I was like, Mario, where is LD? And he's like, I don't know. And then my phone rang. And it was his sister. And she said, he's at Ashley's house and he's not coming back. He left me. He left me and he robbed me. And that's how I got away from him. Because I was so battered and broken from being domestically abused for so long that I didn't have the strength to leave him. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I deserved to be loved. And so he never came back, and I packed all my shit, everything. I took his clothes, I took everything. I took everything. Do you know why? Because I paid for it. Do you know how I got it all in my car? I had went to Walmart to get trash bags and stuff, and I saw 3 guys talking in the parking lot with big-ass dually trucks. And I said, hey, babies, will you guys help me? I'm in a domestic violence relationship, and he beats my ass on the daily, and I need help getting all my shit out of there. Some good old country boys. And they said, damn straight we'll help you. Complete strangers. They had me moved out of there in 1 hour. All my shit. Everything in that house. TVs, pots and pans, everything. In these 3 big dually trucks. And I called my friend Nicole, and she said, come on, girl, you can stay with us. So I moved in with my friend Nicole and her boyfriend Jeremy. Now, between all this drama and chaos, I had gotten so fucked up, and I had went to work, and I had been doing some felonious shit at my job, and I got fired from my job. I had to resign. That's what they had me do. I had to resign. So I resigned from my job, and now the only job I have is Sonic. Okay? So I'm at Sonic. I'm living with Nicole and her boyfriend Jeremy, and we are partying our asses off. I'm in a depression, right? I'm in a depression, and so I'm taking like 2 or 3 hits of ecstasy at a time. I'm smoking crack, you guys. I'm literally doing the most, right? I'm just out of there. And I'm going to my job and working. Well, one night I was on the extra long cheese coney line, and I fell asleep with my fingers in the chili. Because I was doing felonious shit. When I worked for the state of Arkansas, I was making IDs for people. So, and I was doing some other stuff. But my boss had me resign, and I resigned, and I never went back. So, I fell asleep with my finger in the chili, okay? And my boss came over, and he said, Nicole, I'm going to have to let you go. When you go and get some help, you can always have your job back. But I can't have you, I can't have you working in here like this. And I understood. And here's the thing, you guys. Like I said before, I've always been a fucking really hard worker, okay? I've always worked my ass off. So every time I got fired from a job because of my addiction, the people hated to do it because I really was an asset in every single way because I worked so hard. And that's what I still do to this day. So when I lost that second job at Sonic, I was just bewildered. I was lost. I was broken. I was depressed. And so I just went on a basically kill myself, spree of getting high and fucked up. After about 2 or 3 weeks of doing this, I finally caved. People had been calling my mom and dad's house, telling them they were worried about me. And I showed up at my parents' house and I said, please help me. I need to go to treatment. Huh?
Don't look for him.
Why, babe? I was like, I need to go to treatment. And so at this time, I hadn't quite turned 26, so I was still on my mom and dad's insurance. And so they allowed... What, Neil? Nate, where are you at?
I don't know.
Oh, my gosh. Let me see. Is there... Everybody, I need you to see this. Let's see what this boy's doing in there. Look at that little chicken nugget. That is the Anastasia Jackiana palette. So, okay, let me get back on that story. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I went to my parents' house and I was like, I need help. And so my parents let me go into treatment on their insurance. This is the first time I ever been to treatment, okay? The treatment center was called Quapaw House Incorporated. And I did really well. I listened to everything they said. I listened, and I graduated at 30 days, and I got a sponsor. I started going to meetings and all that good stuff. I got a job waiting tables, and I thought I was in the clear. I thought, I'm doing good. I'm going to make it. At my job waiting tables one day, I met a lady. Her name was Connie. She was friends with my sister. And she had methadone 10 pills in her purse. And one day, at about 6 months sober, she offered me one. Hey, girl, you want one? And when I tell you, I didn't even skip a beat. I said, yeah, I want one. And I was back to the races. back to the races. Now, at this time, I was living in Hot Springs still, and I was getting really bad off on opiates. I was going around and buying pills from every old lady in the city, okay? And I was starting to rack up like a debt with one of my dealers. I always paid him back because I waited tables. But at this time, I didn't want to pay him back for some reason because I think I had racked up quite a bit on the front with him. And so I started dipping and dodging him, right? Started dipping and dodging him. Well, one day, I was out driving, going to get some pills, and he found me. He saw me, and I didn't know he had saw me. And he apparently knew which house I was going to. So he went to Big Mama's house. That was my other dealer. He goes to Big Mama's house and goes through the back door, and I walk in the front door, and he shows up. He's in there, shuts the door behind me, and makes me give him all of my money. Straight up, at gunpoint, give me all your money, bitch. You ain't fucking leaving this house if you don't. And so that was my first experience. Basically, I got the shit scared out of me. But do you think that I stopped? Do you think I said, no, I'm not going to do drugs anymore? This is the foundation I use today, which is the Cover FX Luminous Tilted Moisturizer. But I normally use, which is just as good, this Danessa Myricks Cream Cover Foundation. And it is amazing, like amazing. And I'm using a lot of her products right now, Danessa Myricks products. And I love her. That's the kind of glitter that I'm using right here. So anyway, sorry about that. So it scared me, right? It scared the crap out of me. And you think I would have said, okay, this is enough. I need to stop using. I need to slow down. You know what I did? I slowed down on pills, and I just got back on meth really, really bad. It is very good. And when I use her foundation, I take her foundation, I use a little itty bitty drop, y'all. And then I mix it with this Future Dew Oil Serum Hybrid by Glossier. And I mix it around, thins it out a little bit, and it's amazing. So I'm back I get back on methamphetamine really, really bad. And within 6 months of me starting back on methamphetamine, I was introduced to the needle. The first time I ever injected methamphetamine, I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm going to explain to you why it took me down through there. And it was the thing that really, really, really cemented me into my addiction. I had been hanging out with my friend Danessa, Danessa. I had been hanging out at my friend Nate's house. And Nate, it's the Glossier Future Dew. Hold on, guys. I'll type it in there. Glossier Future Dew and Danessa Myricks. Danessa Myricks Cream Cover is the foundation, and then the Glossier Future Dew is what I mix it with, okay? And the tinted moisturizer is the Cover FX Luminous Tinted Moisturizer. Okay? All right. I don't mind answering those questions for you guys. Oh, shitballs. So one night I was over at Nate's house because I had started staying with him. Again, my parents kicked me out. When I started using drugs, you guys, and I was really bad off, they didn't let me come back. They kicked me out for real. So I was staying over at Nate's house, and I was helping him in the manufacturing process. I was shucking matches for him. I was going to the store and buying boxes of pseudoephedrine. Like, I was doing everything, right? Yes, I do. I do know Rochelle. So one night I was over at Nate's house and me and Tammy were there, and I couldn't understand why all of them kept going to the back bedroom. All of them kept going to the back bedroom and coming out of the back bedroom like this, eyes like wide-eyed. And so I went back there. Curiosity killed the cat. I went back there and I was like, what are y'all doing? And they were like, we're just shooting up. And I was like, well, can I shoot up? And they were like, no, Nicole, you don't need to do this. This isn't for you. You're different. You're a good person. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, man, save the bullshit for somebody else. Like, if you don't do it for me, I'm going to do it myself, and then I'm going to end up hurting myself. So cut the crap, right? And so they did, and they helped me, and I got shot. They shot me up with a 40-unit shot, and I fell in love. I fell in love the moment that shit hit my system. And I was sprung. And I locked myself in the bathroom for the next 7 to 8 hours, stabbing myself and shooting up water. Because I was determined to teach myself how to shoot up. And I did. After I started the needle, you guys, my life literally got out of control so fast. Within 6 months of me starting, I was pulled over for possession of a controlled substance, and I was charged with a Class C felony. I was put on probation for 3 years, but you know me, I could not stop using. I tried everything I could to stay using and pass drug tests without staying sober, and I failed miserably. And so after failing about 6 tests, my probation officer finally said, this is it, you're going to treatment. And she sent me to treatment. Hey girl, what's up? She sent me to treatment. I did my time in treatment. I did really, really well. And I came out and I came back to Hot Springs. And within 30 days, I was relapsing. So I came to her office, failed another UA. And that's when she said, I'm revoking your probation and I'm sending you to prison. And so I went to prison. I did a year in prison. It wasn't nothing but a thing. Who wants to lose their freedom? But it is what it is. So I came back from losing my freedom, and I knew that I needed to do something different, and I knew I needed to get sober. Like, I knew at this time, I said, I've got a problem. Like, I need to make a change. And so I paroled out to a sober living house in Little Rock called Williamsburg. And I lived there for like 9 months doing so freaking well. I got a job. I was chairing meetings. I had a sponsor. Like, I was killing it, dude. Killing it, y'all. Doing so freaking good. Well, don't you know, I got that job and I started putting that job before my recovery. I started working too many hours and focusing too much on, my paycheck and what I was doing at work. And I relapsed. Only this time, I relapsed on IV roxicodone. Now, I had never shot up opiates before, so this was all new to me. And I loved it. I loved it. I would take a bunch of Xanax during the day, and then I would go home at night, and I would shoot my Roxys after I got off work. And honey, let me just tell you, I was totally addicted to opiates at this point. Opiates and benzos. It was horrible. Well, after I lost my job, shit got kind of bad, and I found a place to live, and I started smoking crack on top of it. Now, smoking crack, I don't know what it is, but it always really accelerates me going downhill. And that's exactly what it did. It accelerated it. And I started really struggling. And that's when I went back to Hot Springs and asked my parents to help me find a treatment center to go to. Now, they didn't pay for it. I called every single person, right? Oh, no, you're fine, honey. I already made the list, so it's all good. No big deal. Everybody that tagged somebody, I took the tags and I tallied them up, and I already made it, and I sent it over to my boss. So no big deal, no big deal. So it's all good, okay? So I went to my parents' house, and I was like, I need to go back into treatment. And so my parents helped me find a rehab, but it was my job to pay my way. So I had to call this rehab and beg them to take me for free because I had no insurance. I had nothing. So they said, yes, we'll take you for free. So I show up on this treatment center's doorstep, you guys, blazing high on fucking benzos. I had probably taken like 8 bars, and drove from Hot Springs to Little Rock. And I showed up there, and I was so messed up. Yes, baby.
Dad made the crossbow.
Cool.
Do you want to come and see us shooting?
Yeah, I'll be there in just a second.
We're definitely not getting injured.
So I got into the treatment center. I was really messed up when I got there, you guys, and I ended up falling asleep outside while I was waiting for them to process all my stuff. So I'm laying out there on the concrete. It's sun's pouring down on me, and I'm asleep. And they come out there because they were looking for me. And they're like, Nicole, girl, get up and get in here. You guys, this place was so nice. It was called RCA, Recovery Centers of Arkansas, and they were good people. And they genuinely cared about me getting better, you know? And they helped me. And like I said, I did really, really well, just like I always do. And I graduated with flying colors. Well, after I graduated, I went back into the sober living house. And, oh gosh, you guys, I didn't even make it 3 months, and I was relapsed. Back on the needle, back on shooting up oxys. It was bad. It was back and forth. Well, in 2012, I was couch hopping, and I had landed on my friend Kaylee's couch, and I was staying at her house, right? I was staying at Kaylee's house, and her boyfriend Hunter, I was paying their rent, and they were taking me back and forth to work. Well, we decided to throw a party one night, and I was chilling on my couch because that was my bed, and this guy walked in, and he sat down, and he had the cutest red hair. The cutest red hair and the cutest little face. It was Neil, my husband. And I looked at him and I was like, he's going to be my boyfriend. I'm going to make him mine. And I did. He asked me to go out. He asked me if I wanted to hang out with him that night. And I was like, sure. And so on our way out to his car, he opened the car door for me. And I go, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm opening the car door for you, silly. And I was like, I couldn't understand why somebody would treat me good because I had never been treated good before. I had always been treated so badly by men. And so when he opened that car door for me, you guys, I was just like blown away. And that's the kind of man my husband is. He's the kind of man that any woman, he's going to open the car door for them, okay? He's going to do that for them. No MAT. All these treatment centers, no MAT. Okay? Down here in Arkansas, you guys, they didn't offer that kind of treatment until just around 2000. They offered it like in clinics, but they would not let you do it in treatment centers. They only believed in abstinence only. And so that's one of the reasons why I kept on relapsing was because I had nothing to support me, right? Except for the 12 steps. So I met Neil and we hit it off, y'all. We hit it off right away. Okay. And we started dating. We started seeing each other. I really liked him. He really liked me. It was a no-brainer. Well, I didn't realize that he was a drug addict like I was until about a week or two later. He had told me and showed me that he was on methadone. And it wasn't methadone to me. You can do that and be in recovery. But my husband wasn't doing it and being in recovery. He was taking those and then doing meth and doing all kinds of other stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? So he had a prescription for like a whole bunch of methadone. And so he started sharing them with me. Oh, Lord, you guys. That's when, about 6 months after that, his doctor called him in and drug tested him, and he failed for cocaine. And we lost the prescription, and we both had to go through withdrawal coming off of over 100 milligrams of methadone. And it was terrible. Terrible. But we got through it, and we went right back to doing Roxy's and all the other bullshit that we were doing because, one, we wanted to get sober, and we would talk about it. We would talk about wanting to get sober and wanting to change our life and wanting to get better and have a family and get our own place and all these things. And then we would, relapse or use together. And it was just like we were very codependent on each other. And we would just keep on going back and forth and relapsing. So, we wrecked many cars. He would have seizures, high on benzos, and freak me out. One time he had a seizure on tramadol because he took too many. It was just like such a crazy shit show, y'all, of life with me and my husband in active addiction. Well, by 2013, we had started trying to get sober again, and we're white-knuckling it. We weren't going to meetings or anything like that. We were just trying to stay home and not do drugs. Well, that doesn't work out very well. And
why did she make me do that?
one day in 2013, I was downstairs in the kitchen. And my father-in-law lived with us. My mother and father-in-law lived with us. And I was downstairs in the kitchen. And my father-in-law, Al, looked at me and he said, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, "No, how dare you? How dare you question me and ask me if I'm pregnant," right? Bitch, I fucking tested myself a week later, bitch. And guess what? I was pregnant. I was pregnant. He said it. He said, "I can tell you're pregnant because you're glowing." I was so skinny, you guys. Like, I wasn't showing or anything. So now it's 2013. I'm an active IV user of all drugs, meth, cocaine, benzos, opiates, all that. And I'm pregnant. I am pregnant. I remember calling my husband and I was like, "I'm pregnant." And I was happy, but I was scared and I was crying all at the same time because I'd always been told that I couldn't get pregnant after I had that abortion. I had like scar tissue and all this stuff, and I would have really bad periods, and it was just hard, right? So we had a family meeting. We called the whole family together, because his parents knew that I was in active addiction and that he was too. And I asked them, I said, "Do you want me to have an abortion?" And his mom, and his dad all looked at me and they said, "Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're part of this family. We love you." And we weren't even married yet. So I said, "Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have this baby and I'm gonna try and get sober. I gotta do this, right?" And for the next 9 months, I quit Xanax, I quit opiates, I quit cocaine, I quit all that. But I couldn't stop shooting methamphetamine. I tried and I would go back. I tried and I would go back. I made sure that I kept up with my prenatal care. I went all of my doctor's appointments. And somehow, some way, I was slipping through the cracks. And I kept on not being caught. Well, July 3rd morning at 5 a.m., I was sitting in the bedroom over there. And I had just got done. I'd been up for 3 days. And I took a capsule full of ice. And at 5 a.m., I started getting this excruciating pain in my lower back. Like somebody was taking a knife and just going like, and dragging it across. And I was like, "Holy shit, I'm in labor." And so I got up. My husband was working overnights at the time. And I went and I told my mother-in-law, "I think I'm in labor." So she called Neil and she said, "Hey, Nicole's in labor. You need to get home when you can." And so he came home. And from 5 a.m. until 8:30 p.m. that night, I was in labor at this house. I was going in the hot tub. I was coming out. I was bouncing on this bouncy ball. It was so painful. and I was high on methamphetamine.
New visitor.
Now you have to think about it. Imagine being in labor and being high on a stimulant where my senses were super heightened. I was super agitated. I was like, all this. And I'm in labor. At 8:30 that night, my mom was there. She had flown down from New York. And she said, I need to check you. And so she put her hand inside of me and she felt my son's head. She said, we got to get you to the hospital. I feel his head. And so we jumped in the car, me, Tara, Neil, my mom, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, and we rode out to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, I was literally holding my belly down here, and my belly was in between my legs, and I was like, and we got there. They threw me up in the stirrups, and I was 8.5 centimeters dilated. He said, you better lay down and get on your back, on your stomach, so we can give you this epidural, or you ain't getting one. And so I flipped over, and I stayed really still, and they gave me the epidural. And that relieved so much of the pain. So much of the pain. I was in labor from 8:30 at night till 1 a.m. the July 4th morning. Nathaniel was born, and it was a miracle. When I tell you, God protected my son from me, from his mom. God made sure that my son was safe inside of me and that I didn't hurt him and I didn't harm him with my drugs. Because when my son was born, he had no drugs in his system. His APGAR scores were amazing. And the minute they pulled him out of me, y'all, I looked over and he was, and they were smacking his booty and he was, and they cleaned him off really quick and they handed him to me and I got to hold him. And I begged God. I said, God, if you'll just let me take him home, I'll never use drugs again. I'll never, ever get high again. Just let me take my baby home. Two days later, I got to leave home with the hospital with my son. I got to bring my son home. And I swore I would never do drugs again. I swore it off completely. And I did so well for 90 days, you guys. For 90 days, I white-knuckled it, and I didn't touch one substance. One single thing. And then around the 90-day mark, somebody called me, and they had Xanax. And I took the Xanax, and it just totally knocked me off, and I went right back on my bender to methamphetamine. I knew I was fucking up. So I was leaving my son with my mother and father-in-law. And I was going MIA for like 2 or 3 days at a time. My husband was here with my son and I was leaving and I wasn't coming back and I was shooting meth. My friend Tara, the one that I told you was in the labor and delivery room with me, my best friend that I would smoke crack with and shoot dope with, me and her had an argument about money. She owed me some money. She wasn't paying me back, so I collected it from her boyfriend. She got pissed at me and she called CPS. Well, apparently CPS had come to my house like 3 times and I didn't even know. And on their last time, they left a note on the door. And when I saw that note on the door, my fucking heart dropped into my stomach. It was exactly 2 days before my son's first birthday. 2 days before my son's birthday, July 2nd. I called them and I said, hey, this is Nicole Pludre. What can I do? They said, you need to come up here and bring your son with you. And so I drove up there and I submitted to a drug test and I failed for benzos and opiates. They said, go home, take your son, be with your father-in-law, do not go out anywhere else. And when we are going to come over this evening and we are going to drug test your husband, okay? And so they did, and my husband failed for the same thing, benzo and opiates. CPS looked at us and they said, we want you to know we're not going to take your son. we're not going to take your son. We're going to put an order of protection in place, and we are going to order you to treatment. You need to go to treatment. Your husband needs to make sure he keeps his full-time job, and he goes to outpatient, and that's what's going to happen. And I was like, okay. The next day they came back and they said, never mind, we changed our mind. We need you to bring your son to us this afternoon, and we're taking your son. And I was like, well, can he go with my family? Can he go with my mother and father-in-law? Because my mom and dad were in New York. They had moved to New York. And they were like, well, you have to fill out that paperwork for that. So we did. We petitioned them to let him go with family. Do you know that shitty-ass CPS fucking denied my mother and father-in-law? They would rather my son go into a fucking stranger's house at 2 days before his first birthday than be with family. So the moment I knew that my son was going into foster care, I looked at that caseworker and I said, take me to fucking detox. Take me to detox and drop me off now. And she dropped me off at detox right down the street on MR. And I went into detox. I paid them $100 because that was my copay, because I had state insurance, Obamacare. And I went in there and I fucking roughed it out. Now they did give me Suboxone the first day, half of a Suboxone the next day, a quarter of a Suboxone the third day, and that was it. Nothing else. By day number 5, I was okay. And it was a Sunday. And they're like, hey, we're going to discharge you. You know, you're looking great, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, you cannot discharge me on a Sunday. I need to go straight into rehab. Please let me stay one more day. Please. They let me stay one more day till Monday. So that way I could transition straight into rehab. Honey, I went to rehab, and don't y'all know I had court dates, like so many court dates for CPS and all this bullshit. My husband was picking me up back and forth, and I relapsed on Xanax for the first 2 weeks I was in treatment. I'm not proud of that. Like when I tell this story, I feel so much shame because of that, because my son was literally in foster care and I'm fucking taking Xanaxes. Like, what the fuck was wrong with me? They caught me, though. They caught me, and they were like, you're so lucky, we want to give you a chance. We're not going to kick you out. And so for the next 2 weeks, I fucking lived by the book, dude, and I did everything they asked me to do. And I graduated the program, and my husband picked me up on my 31st day. When my husband had picked me up, we didn't have any contact for the last 2 weeks, so I didn't know what was going on or what he was doing. While I was in treatment for the last 2 weeks, he had went and gotten on MAT. On Suboxone. When he told me he had gotten on Suboxone, y'all, I was so mad at him. I was mad because I felt like he was trying to take the easy way out. Well, 2 or 3 days had passed and he was doing very well, and I could see that. I could see that he wasn't stressed out. He wasn't having cravings. Like, he was living his best life. And so I was like, take me to the doctor. And I got on Suboxone too. And when I tell you guys, that was the hardest decision I ever made of my life. Because just like y'all heard in my story, I had been in and out of abstinence-based programs for many, many years. I had been going to treatment, 12-step programs, IOPs, sober living, everything. And I just could not get it, dude. I could not get it. So making the decision to get on Suboxone was very, very difficult for me because I didn't want to be judged, and I didn't want to be different, and I didn't want to be considered not sober. And here in Arkansas, that's how it is. A lot of places. Our peer program just started allowing MAT peers like last month. So I decided to get on MAT, and with the MAT program, I got a therapist. And I got to go to groups. And I had my sponsor. And I had my meetings. So I started fighting for my son. I started going to parenting classes, meetings, therapy, jumping through literal hoops for CPS. Did CPS help me with anything? Hell no. Did they do anything to assist me and my family? Not at all. Not one single thing. Me and my husband did every single thing. We made sure we had our own transportation. We made sure we had things for my son to do when we would go see him. We made sure when we got visitations that we could take him out of there, that we always had him dressed nice and got to go out to eat and do all kinds of things, right? CPS is supposed to be there to help reunify. They're supposed to help the parents, to help them get into therapies and counseling and parenting, all that. Nothing. They're supposed to help with childcare. Nothing. We did all of it. In fact, I had to call my caseworker and remind her to drug test me. When we would go up to the CPS office, guess what? I would sit there for 45 minutes to an hour holding my pee, doing the pee-pee dance in the lobby because they were so lazy. They didn't want to get up off their asses and come give me and my husband RUAs. I only met my CASA worker one time in a whole year. Okay? It was bullshit. It was bullshit. It was bullshit. I fought my ass off for my son. And at our last hearing, Nathaniel's attorney ad litem says they don't need their son back because they're still on Suboxone and they need to be off Suboxone before they can get their son back. And I had it up to here with CPS. And I said, hell to the fucking no. I had my counselor there in the audience for moral support and the nurse that ran the clinic. And they came to the stand and they fucking testified and said how good me and Neil were doing and how this medication is made for long-term treatment. And this medication is considered being in recovery. And I got up there and I recited every fucking 12-step to them. And I told them everything I had learned about medication-assisted treatment. And I told them there was no way that I was not leaving that office courtroom with my son in tow. Hell to the no. It had been one whole year. You are not going to keep me from my baby. When I tell you guys, that judge looked at me and my husband and she said, you're getting your baby back. Boom. And I looked back behind me and Nathaniel was sitting on my son was sitting on his foster mom's lap. And I looked behind me and she put him down and he ran and I got to hold him. And I knew I wasn't going to have to pick him up from visitations anymore. I knew I wasn't going to have to worry about putting him in the car and seeing him cry and grab for me and be upset, you know. How could they want to keep my son from me when they saw how much I loved him? How could they possibly want to do that to somebody who they could evidently see how much passion and love for my son I have and how much passion I have for recovery? How could anybody want to do that to somebody, you know? After I got my son back, you guys, it was hard. It was hard being sober and learning how to be a mom sober because I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to be a good person. I didn't know how to make healthy choices. You know, it was difficult. I didn't have any friends in real life. And I was struggling to make friends. And I was going to meetings, but the people at the meetings weren't my kind of people. And I was really just going through a hard time. And I'll remember when I celebrated my first year sober, I came to my sponsor and I said, Spons, I really want to tell my story. Can I tell my story? And she said, yes, you can. Absolutely. And she arranged for me to go tell my story at the treatment center that I had graduated from. And I went and told my story, you guys. And there wasn't a dry eye in the room. We were all bawling our eyes out, even the old men. And after I told my story for the first time that day, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I wanted to continue doing this. I want to tell my story. I want to help other people. I want to inspire other people by sharing them what I went through. And that's what I decided, this is what I'm going to do. I don't care how long it takes me to get to this point where I can share my story and it can get out to other people, but I'm going to keep working towards it. So I had been working for a little sandwich shop called Nukes, and I worked there for the first 2.5 years of my sobriety. After 2.5 years, I moved on to working for Hallmark, and I worked for Hallmark for another 2.5 years. So now I'm at, 5 years sober. In 2016, I had went on Facebook and told my story. And I got a lot of hate for being on Suboxone. And I got very discouraged, and I said, fuck this shit. I'm not going to tell my story on Facebook, but you know what I am going to do? I'm going to make a YouTube channel. And so that's what I did. And I started Discovering Nicole, which was Real Talk Recovery, but now it's Discovering Nicole. I started Real Talk Recovery, and I started uploading videos and going live every single day. Every single day since 2017, I have posted videos and made content for my YouTube channel. 2017, I might have had 500 subscribers, but I was reaching people and I was connecting with other men and women. That's when I decided I want to make a group of women where we call each other on this, on Messenger, and we do a video meditation every morning. And so that's what we did. And I started connecting with other women and building a women's support group. And it was amazing. Amazing. And then in 2018, this guy who has a channel with 500,000 followers on it asked me to come share my story. Lockdown 23-1. His name is Josh. And I said, I will absolutely tell my story. And when he had me on his channel, that catapulted my channel to about 2,000 followers. Okay. And so all this time I'm just working. Well, then I had a friend of mine who approached me and said, hey, do you want to go on the Tamron Hall show with me? And so I was like, TV? National TV? A talk show? Hell yeah. Only this time, I'm going to talk about my cross addiction, which is my struggle with an addiction to food. And I went on national TV and shared about my struggle with food and how depressed I was because I was gaining weight. And that was in March of 2020. Yeah, March of 2020 is when that was. When the pandemic hit is when they aired that issue, that show. And talking about being addicted to food in front of the whole world and having people degrade me for my weight and make fun of me and say I'm never going to lose weight. And then people still bring it up to this day and throw it in my face online. It was hard. It was hard to come online and talk about my struggle and my insecurity. I talk about my biggest insecurity online, and people take that and they try to hurt me with it. So, in fact, just last year, there was a girl on a live stream who screamed at me repeatedly that I was a fat bitch over and over and over again in front of everybody, and I just continued to let that shit roll off of me like water on a duck's back. But I would be lying to you if I said that it didn't hurt my heart, that it didn't discourage me a little, So after that, you guys, it was 2019. And I had been making videos with Dr. B on YouTube for about 1.5 years. We would do videos together about opiates and stuff like that. Well, in 2019, Dr. B called me on my cell phone because we were at that point where I would text him. He had my phone number and all that kind of stuff. And he said, hey, Nicole, I might have a job open up January of 2020. I just want to let you know that if you're interested. And I started bawling my eyes out. And I was like, thank you for even considering me. Well, January 2020 came, and that's when I started working for Dr. B. Do you understand what a miracle and how much I have went from the bottom to where I am today? When he gave me that job, it gave me so much confidence, and it helped me so much. Because I love helping people, and I literally get to do it every single day now. Every single day I get to help people and talk to people on the phone and talk to them on Zoom. I get to do all kinds of stuff. I get to talk to patients. I get to do groups and everything with them. I love it. I love it. Okay. But that changed my life forever. Forever. In 2020, I started hitting it hard and making content on my YouTube channel and just spreading the word about Real Talk Recovery and my journey and letting people know that they could reach out to me anytime. And I've been doing that for working for Dr. B since 2020. It's 2 years now. And I love it. I love it. And in October of 2020, my boss, Dr. B in Austin, said, "Hey, Nicole, you need to come over to TikTok." And I said, "TikTok? That's a kid's app. I ain't going over there." And they were like, "Girl, you need to get your ass on TikTok." And so after they bothered me about it for a while, I said, fuck it, I'll come on over there. When I came over here, I seen Dr. B rocking it, and I seen Austin rocking it, and I said, oh, hell, I need to get up on in this shit. And that's when I started making content, baby, here on TikTok. And that's where we got to where we are today with this account right here. Sadly, it got banned, though, last year. And so I made another account, which is my other account, Discovering Nicole. And I built that account up to 37,000 followers. And then I got my other backup account that has 7,000 followers on it, and my other backup account with 3,000 followers on it. Why do I have so many accounts? Because if one of my accounts gets taken down, I will be able to connect with you guys. I am going to keep fighting and because people try to take me down. People try to get my stuff banned and try to hurt me and try to get it to where I can't share my message and I can't get my word out. And so I have backup accounts on top of backup accounts. So that way I can make sure no matter what, I can always connect with you guys. Hey, thank you, Golden Roses. And so my eyes itching, you guys. I've been working really hard this last year, 2021 to 2022. On myself and gaining confidence. Because since I have been on TikTok, I have gotten so much hate. I have been made fun of for my weight. I have been made fun of for my teeth. I have been just clobbered, dude, with hate. And so last year taught me so much about myself and so much about other people, and how as long as I got to keep doing what's right for me, I got to keep helping people, because helping people saves my life. When I'm able to share my story and I'm able to help you guys and I'm able to sit here and talk with y'all, this helps me. It's not just helping you. It's helping me. I need this. I need to be able to be of service for people. Like I said at the beginning of the story, I've always had a passion for helping people. Always, always. My efforts were just misdirected because I was on drugs. Now that I'm sober, I can actually help people. Now that I'm sober, I can actually make a difference, man. And so I want y'all to know, I see people making videos about me. I see people saying horrible things about me. And if you sat through this whole live stream and you listen to my life story and you hear my heart when I share, all you have to do is be in here for fucking 1 hour with me and hear the passion and hear what I am about. And you will know all I want to do is help people. I'm not about trying to harm people. I'm not a disingenuous person. I am serious about my recovery, and I'm serious about people dying, man. I don't want to lose people, okay? And so I wanted to share my story because I thought it was important for a lot of you guys to hear it. Because there's many of you guys that are in this live right now that have never heard my story, that have heard hearsay and have listened to rumors and have seen nasty, mean videos about me. And you don't even know me. You've never even talked to me. Well, now you know. Now you know me and you know who I am and what I'm about. And you can go through my content and you can look and see. I don't make mean videos about people. I don't do that. That's not me. That's not my style, dude. I am in recovery and I work a program of recovery, and I'm trying to set an example for other men and women. And so what kind of example would I be setting if I'm over here bashing people all day long? So that's my story, y'all. What Evelyn has to say for a second. I need to take some migraine medicine. Y'all, my headache's hurting me. Hey, girl.
Hey,
How you doing?
better now.
Talk to me. What's going on?
I'm just listening. And when you take down another woman or even another guy, okay, it gives me the chills. You don't know their story. You don't know what they've been through. They could have been beaten up. You don't know. And
I
if you
know.
make a mistake and they're lying, so what? That's my take. I've lost a lot of people in my life, and I go through hell. Um, it's like I'll go into another room and I'll cry and I'll come out and I might not feel great, but it's a release. And I've been laughed at for that.
I understand. Me
You
too.
know,
People think because we show our emotions that we're weak. But we're
oh,
not weak, Evelyn. We're actually the most strongest people in the room because we
ain't that the
can be
truth?
vulnerable.
Ain't that the
Because we
truth?
can. Being vulnerable is a strength. It's not a weakness. People who hide their feelings and push them down below, they're hurting. We're able to get relief and get that out of us.
I mean, I've had to take care of uh, my father, my mother. When I was 15, I lost one of my brothers. He was only 12. And then I lost my other brother. I lost a bunch of people in one foul swoop. Just one, two, three, and I had a lot of responsibilities. And when I tell someone that maybe I can help them, okay, they'll say, well, do you have any money? And I'll say, well, what does that have to do with it? And when I say, you're pushing it, I'll say, yeah, you know what? You want to get nasty? Yeah, I have money and I've used it for good. My family has set up so many charities. Okay. And I made it my business. And it's hard work because you're watched by the government.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, big time. Um, People say, well, I say, well, it's a nonprofit. Well, then how do you make any money? I said, try it. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Um, it's a big responsibility, but I'm willing to take it on. I'm willing to go one to one with somebody, even if they're nasty. I'm willing to go one to one with somebody. The one thing you don't want to do with me is talk about my family.
Amen.
That's the one thing you do not want to fuck with me. Because I might not get you today, I might not get you tomorrow, but I will get you.
I feel
And
you, girl. I know how you feel. I know how
okay.
you feel.
I mean, one girl said to me, oh, you have money, so nothing can hurt you. Oh, I said, did your father die of cancer? Um, did your mother die because she was very, very sick and at the end there was absolutely nothing that could do? And believe me, I worked my ass off to find every fucking possible thing to help her.
Yeah.
When my brother passed, the older, they were fraternal twins. Um, I got a call um, from a friend he was staying with. And he said to me, your brother is dead. Huh? What? People do not get it. They don't. They don't understand what it is to lose. Listen, my family's been in business for over 75 years. And I take that, and they came from nothing. It wasn't handed to them. Okay, they built it themselves. If it was just given to them, I might, question it. If I was somebody else.
Yeah, I'm all about hard work. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, Evelyn, you never know what someone is going through. And so in our community here on TikTok, that's why I feel like it's so important for us to be kind and loving and supporting to each other. Even if we don't have to be best friends, but we don't have to spit mean, horrible things at each other. You know what I mean?
People, wait, I just have to take this medicine one second.
Hey, Lady Joker, thank you. You can come up and talk to Michelle if you want to. All of you guys can. After Evelyn gets done talking, I'll bring you guys up too, okay?
I have run into the meanest, nastiest people. And
online
and in person. I'm an empath. I'm not terribly religious. I'm Jewish, and if anybody has anything to say about it, say it now.
Oh, girl, my dad. I have a quarter Jew in me. A quarter. My dad's Italian, and it's on my dad's side.
See, I mean, what is the purpose of calling somebody a shithead or a piece of garbage when that very person can be the one person in your whole life that can help you?
I honestly believe that people who do that and say nasty things to each other or to other people, I honestly believe it's because they are so unhappy with themselves and their own life that they project that unhappiness onto other people. You know
You're
what I'm saying?
absolutely right. My real name is Leslie. I took on the name Evelyn. My mother's name was Evelyn.
So Leslie's your name?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I normally don't tell people my real name because
you don't
sometimes.
have to worry about me.
Oh, honey, I'm not worried about you. I've seen you a million times, and you're kind. I've watched you grow. I've watched you become a really kind, nice, giving. In the beginning, it was a little difficult.
Yeah, I know. I was sassy and I had an attitude at the beginning. And I know that. And I've tried so hard to change and be better. You know what I'm saying? I really have been trying so hard.
But you don't have to try so hard. Just realize who you are and what you're about and what you've been through. And believe me, you don't have to try that hard. You are by nature a good person. Yeah. You have been through, whether you did it to yourself, it doesn't matter to me whether you did it to yourself. I love when people say, oh, she did it to herself. And so therefore, go fuck yourself. That doesn't mean that they don't need help. Sometimes people have to hit rock bottom. And I hate watching it.
Oh my
I think
God. It is hard. You know, I was just talking about my husband going through his rock bottom and me having to back up and let him do it. And when I tell you, because I'm a controlling person, like I want to fix, manage, and control everything.
I do too.
And backing off and letting him fall and hit his
Very
face
hard.
in 2020, it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole entire life. Hardest thing.
You have to walk into another room. You don't know. This
I was
it's a
losing my damn
horrible
mind.
feeling. It's a horrible feeling.
Hmm.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's sober now. He's been sober since December 21st of 2020. That's the day he fell on his face and lost his job.
That's what needed to happen.
Yep. Because I kept enabling him by stepping in and like calling in for him and saving him from his consequences.
That's right. You called his work. You called saying, "Oh, he's sick.
Yep.
He's got COVID. He's
Yep.
this."
Everything.
How many times in 2020 did he have COVID? What, 6?
Girl, when I tell you, we even were going to those little clinics and getting the test done so he could actually like
Yeah,
not get in
be
trouble.
quarantined.
It was so bad. It was so bad. And then what happened was I read a book about codependency called Codependency No More by Melanie Beatty. And then I had a meeting with one of my older lady friends. Her name's Anne. And she was talking to me and she started talking about codependency. And it just all hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, I am keeping him from hitting rock bottom. I am enabling him to continue making by without getting, any consequences. And so the
Because
minute
you're
I realized
afraid you're
that,
going to lose him.
yep, it's all fear based, all
And
fear
it's
based.
codependency. You don't want to be alone. It's a horrible feeling to know that you're going to open up the front door and no one's going to be there.
Right. Yeah, I was scared to death.
Oh yeah. What am I going to do? Who am I going to talk to? I'm afraid. People are so afraid to say I'm afraid.
That's a lot. I feel also that that's a lot of what goes on here online too. I feel like a lot of the reasons why people act out of character out and they're mean is because they're afraid of like not being accepted, and they're afraid of somebody hurting them first, so they try to hurt the other people
Exactly.
before they can hurt them.
Exactly. I mean,
You know what I mean?
I've had people say, well, what could happen to Leslie? She's got all the money and she's the sweetie. That's not going to bring back my family.
Right.
Okay. If it could, I'd give it all away. Okay. The charities that I run, and there's a multitude of them, and I'm very proud that my family set them up. I'm proud of the businesses that my family started. These people came from nothing. My father was born on the ship coming to America.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
my grandmother Elaine, her father also came over on the boat to New York. And you guys talk the same. Are you in New York?
Yeah.
Okay. My grandma she passed away, but her name was Elaine DeMayo. And she would tell me stories about my grandpa because my grandpa also passed away when I was younger. My great grandpa, her dad.
Yeah.
And uh, honestly, on my Italian side of my family, we are so broken apart because when my dad married my mom, my grandma really wanted him to marry an Italian lady. And my mom's Mexican. And so I got to dig deeper on my family tree on that side because there's so much stuff I don't even know, you know?
Sometimes I think that I want to do it, And then I say to myself, why do I want to, sometimes I feel like I get very low in my moods. I'm a human being.
Yeah, we all are.
I get angry. I get frustrated. I don't know how to explain that to people. That it's an emotion. It's facts. Feelings are not real. They're
Right. Feelings
real,
aren't facts.
right? But they come from facts. What you went through, girl, the fact that you're even alive, damn. You deserve kudos. You deserve the best. Okay?
I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you.
I mean, hell, man, even I don't give a shit if you did it to yourself. You're alive to fix it. You're alive. I wish it's like me talking to you. I wish I was there for you. I don't like myself because I can be an enabler. And I'm learning not to dislike myself because I am an enabler. I'm trying not to be. Sometimes people mix up helping with enabling.
Yes, they do. And listen to me. Giving somebody a meal, providing shelter for that person, basic human needs like shower, shelter, food, water, that's not enabling. Enabling is when you're paying for their drugs or you're paying their way through to do things. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I couldn't agree with you more. And even if a real shithead finds his way or her way into my life and they're lying to me, what am I going to do? If I had a nickel for every dime, for every loan, for every dollar that I have given somebody, but I knew that it came to a point where don't give it to me. Just call me and tell me you haven't forgotten about me. Do you know what I'm saying? If you don't have it, you don't have it. But at least give me the common courtesy of a phone call. Say thank you. I haven't forgotten about you.
Right.
You can't get blood from a stone. And being a liar, people have become real good at it.
Especially on social media, because people can present this one version of themselves and nobody will ever, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, what you see is what you get. But I go live so much, I feel like y'all see all parts of my life. So it is what it is. But people can be who they want to be behind the camera. And then when they shut it off, they can go act some other way,
Listen, I couldn't agree with you more. Okay? They can be the biggest shitheads when they get offline. Like, you know what? I was online and I told this girl, or I told this guy, and just all bullshit. Bullshit isn't going to hurt or help the person that they're talking about. It's only going to hurt them.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
Uh,
Hey, Leslie, I'm
yeah,
gonna let Evelyn come up too. Okay, so I'm gonna let
I'm
I'll let
Evelyn.
you. I mean, Evelyn, I know I have another Evelyn that wants to come up too. So what I'm gonna do, uh, you go ahead and finish up sharing, and then I'm gonna take you off and put her on. Okay, so
Listen, do
keep
me a
on
favor,
going. I'm not.
put her on because I'll meet you again.
Listen. Will you comment in the comment section so I can follow you and send you a DM?
Sure.
Okay, cool. All right.
Okay.
I love you, girl.
Okay, I love you back.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
I love when you guys come up here. Thank you so much for coming up here. Come on, girl. I seen you want to come up, so I'm here to let you come on up. Any of you guys that want to come up can come up and share and talk a little bit. I have no problem with that. Like, I love when you guys come up here and share and you comment and you let me know, how you're doing, how your recovery's. Okay, I think I saw somebody else try to come up too. So if you guys want to come up, feel free. Hey, girl, what's up?
I didn't say I wanted to come up. It keeps kicking me out of your life.
Oh, I don't know why.
I don't know. But since I'm on the hot seat, I just want to say thank you for all that you do for the recovery community from the bottom of my heart, Nicole, for all the stuff you post, for everyone that you defend, for all the stuff. I mean, it takes a lot of hard work and effort to post videos, to go live. Like, it takes time out of your hectic day that you've already got going on, but still yet you are so consistent with your content. And that means a lot to people on the outside that, I don't really fuck with you on the outside. I might message you once a month or something, but I'd be damned if I don't pop up in your live and be like, hey girl, I'm here. Cause I want you to know I'm here,
I
like no matter
appreciate it
what.
too.
And I see you, girl. I see you doing big stuff. And the little ones that don't have 1.5 million followers, 100 some thousand, we love you just as much. And we see you. I promise you, girl, we see you. I hit 8,000 last night and I scream like I hit a
Did
million.
you?
Yes, I
That's
did.
awesome. That is
It's like it's
awesome.
been a year and I finally hit 8,000.
Have you not been on my live? Like, I don't know if you were on my live the other night, but I'm offering to help people. Like, if you want me to go through your videos and kind of just like give you a critique to you and let you know like what I think you can improve on and stuff like
Yes.
that will help
And
you,
we're on
I would totally
Messenger
do that.
together. You could do that at any time. Yes.
Okay.
We're on
Because I
Messenger
want to help
together. So, yes, do that
I
for
want
me.
to help you guys grow your accounts. I'll tell you this, y'all. It's a lot harder for you guys to grow your accounts now. When we all started back in 2020, it was so much easier to um, get your videos out there and actually go viral. Basically,
There's just
now,
so many people these days. So
yeah,
many
it's a lot more
recovery
challenging.
creators. See, and I don't only do recovery. You'll see once you start going through my videos, Nicole. I do mental health. Like the other night, I got in a bad spot in my head. I was this close to using. I had 15 messages once that video posted.
That's awesome.
And yeah, and it was like that showed me who my true friends was, like who actually observes what I'm doing. And that meant so much to me. Not saying like the ones that didn't see it, because like I said, I'm a little small piss ant in this big old
No,
world.
this guy made a video the other day and he said you have supporters and you have people that watch or spectators. Your
Right.
supporters are people who like you said, message you and let you know they're thinking about you and ask you if you're okay. And your spectators are the people who are just your viewers and they watch you. And
Right.
we have to remember that's what he said. We need to make sure that we show our supporters love, because those are the people who are making sure that our videos get out to people and all that,
Right. And that's the thing is like every morning I go live. Every night I go live. I put on my makeup. I talk about recovery while I'm doing it. Every night I go live, take off my makeup, do a face mask, whatever. Self-love. It's what it's about in recovery, self-love and self-care.
Right.
I have the same 5 to 12 people every day. That don't bother me.
You know
One
what it
day,
is? Once your account gets a little bit bigger, I don't know what it is, but like on this count, whenever I go live, it'll get pushed out to like 700 people, 200 people, 100 people sometimes. So
Girl,
I'm
my
telling
life
you,
went to 53 people one day and I about had an anxiety attack.
there
Like
you
I
go.
froze
Yeah.
at 53 people. I was like,
Also,
but it was because of who was in my box too.
you need to
And I
look at
know
what time are you going live? Like look at your analytics and see when your people are online.
Well, see, I go first thing in the morning about 6:30. Like I have so many people comes in and says, I'm waiting at the methadone clinic. Oh, please God, don't report
That's
me.
cool. That's cool.
I'm waiting at the clinic. I'm watching you. And I'm like, well, hell yeah. I'm on subs. Good for you. Keep it up. Don't stop using just because people tell you need to, is what I tell them every morning. Or whenever I go live at night, it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night when everybody's settled in, done, got their dinner done, stuff like that. On my days off, I'll go live about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. That's when I have nobody in my lives besides the people I personally send my live to.
8 and 9 o'clock is in the evening.
Yes, to take my
That's
makeup
when
off.
everybody's live.
Exactly.
You know what you should start doing? You should start sending invites to people that are already live and inviting them to join your live and co-host with you.
People I don't know. I can't do that. That makes my
Girl,
anxiety.
bye. You just do this. You say, let me pick somebody. And you say, invite. And then you talk to them. Do you see Dixie?
What are you talking about?
Dixie does it. You should do it like
But
Dixie does.
ask Dixie how long it took her to do that. People had to talk her into just hitting random people.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
Because of her nerves. Like, I do good when I have more than 10 people on my lives, Nicole. It's like I freeze. Like, I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing. I'm afraid of doing the wrong thing. You know, it's just, I'd be damned if I do and damned if I don't. And I'm still waiting on my journal, Mama.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's literally look at me. It's literally right over there on that counter over there.
Girl, I am in Eastern time, baby.
You know what?
You said it's right over there.
I sent out somebody else's thing that I was supposed to send them 2 months after they won it. It was a makeup palettes. I had given away a bunch of makeup palettes, nice ones. Natasha Denona, everything. And I was like, I promise, just stay on me. It'll get there. Eventually you will get it. Okay.
Well, I'm going to start texting you every day until you get it out.
Text me, please. If you'll text me in the morning, I'll go down there tomorrow morning together while we're on the phone, okay?
Because I ain't gonna lie to you. Sober Barbie told me she got hers and she effing loves it, and I'm like,
really? That makes me so happy. I'm gonna go get a whole bunch more. Then they're only $5. I could literally order like 50 of them, probably. You know.
I bet you that you could probably get a discounted price if you told them, hey, this is what I'm doing with them.
Yeah, I wonder if I could get them for wholesale or something like that. I'm gonna try and reach out. I think I know a girl that works there at the Five Below because that's where I found it at Five Below. You know, in their journal section, they have such cute stuff, y'all. If y'all want to like go look at y'all's Five Below, it's really awesome.
See, I've been in there one time, and that was just a look for. I went on vacation last year, and I was looking for a car mount because, like at Walmart, they're like $100, not legit.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
Oh, you can see the comments too? I didn't know you could see the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Someone made fun of my hair. Girl, don't let people make fun of your hair. I'm in Central, y'all. It's 5:35 here.
See, I'm Eastern. It's 6:35 here.
People are so wicked on this app. Like I'm telling you guys, and that's why I'm telling you, just when you see people making videos about me, you guys, I don't even you don't even have to comment or stick up for me because it just gives
You know
their
what?
video.
Last time I done that, you said that it aggravated you how everybody was sending them to you. So whenever I see that one female stitch your video about it, I was like, I'm not even sending it to her because it's just going to aggravate her. She knows it's there, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I ended up seeing it. And here's the thing. Listen to me. The list that I made you guys was based off of the tags that y'all left, the people who you guys tagged as your favorite creators. Okay,
I
I
know I
went
was
through
tagged like 3 times. I was like, ooh, that's going to help me so much.
and I added up the people that got the most tags so it would be fair. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the year before I picked them all and that wasn't fair. So I wanted to make it more fair. But after this one, guess what I'm going to do next? A mental
Right.
health a mental health one. And since you said you are a mental health content creator, then you could be on that too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And so,
and people
you know,
tag me.
this is also not for huge creators. When y'all see the
I
list,
heard
you're
you
going to
say that
see
in that video. And I was like, okay.
it's for regular people like you, like me, who are like, I wouldn't put me on it because I feel like I've already gotten to a point where people on here know me, but I want people to
107K. Yes, Nicole. People know you.
I want people to find people that are new, that are making content, that are doing
That
like
are
that,
trying.
that are taking time, that are doing live streams with their family, that are doing answering their DMs. And it was honestly, I was doing it because I did it last year with Dr. B and I thought it would be fun and positive, but there's always got to be that one person who makes it into something negative.
That it really ain't.
It was not
Exactly.
even like people are twisting my words and saying that I'm judging addicts and that it's dividing the community. No, it's not. Nobody it was complaining about it until one person made a video. And the reason why
Yep.
those people do that is because they feel like they're not going to make it. And so
Right.
it's like,
They're miserable.
yes, it's like, you guys, it's literally a little list that's going to be posted on a website. It's not like I'm giving you $100 or something, you know?
It ain't nothing to fight for.
No, not at all. Not at all. So it's just crazy
But
to
yes,
me.
before I get off, I want to say yes, I want you to watch some of my content. This account only. My other accounts, I don't keep up with. The only reason I have other accounts is whenever okay. So the Daddy's Princess, rest in peace, Dad, 2017. That was my original account that I got introduced to Recovery Talk. So I made Your Recovery Princess. Well, I got a new phone in December. I couldn't remember my freaking password or email what I used, so I had to make this one. So this one is like the only one that you need to look at.
Okay. I'll look at it after I get off here and I'll send you a little this is what I'm doing. I'm doing it for Mike to Inspire. He texted me last night and
Mhm.
asked me to look over his. And I'm just
I'm
going to
just like,
look
what are we
over.
doing wrong? You know?
Right. And listen, there's not really anything, I wouldn't say wrong, but I would say like you can literally tighten it up. You can polish up your content. You can, like, what I see a lot of people do wrong is when they come on, they, hey y'all, what's up? Or hey you guys, and they kind of like, they don't get into the meat and potatoes of the video and it drags on and people click off.
Right.
They click off really quick. So when people are scrolling, you got to think about you got to think about the person who's on the other side of the screen that's
Like
scrolling.
who I want to see
You gotta,
if I was screwing.
yeah, exactly. You want to be entertained. And so
Right.
it's the competition's getting heavy, dude. I'll tell you this. Dixie is a fucking genius though. Anytime I'm scrolling and I see one of her videos, I can't help
They're
but
like
sit and
this.
watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like
They're
yours.
so freaking good. They're so good. I love them. You know,
Michelle
and
said, I've never watched a live this long. I love it. See?
I love going live, Michelle, for hours. I'm a freaking live whore.
That's like some people will say, I have, how do you say it? Yeah, rec
What?
adding in rabbit is good. Specifically, men will say, what am I supposed to do? Sit there and watch you do your makeup for an hour? No, you need to come on and talk to me about recovery.
Yeah,
What am I supposed to
yeah.
do? Sit there and watch you drink your Diet Mountain Dew, watch sports, and scratch your balls for an hour? No. I've had 3 guys say that to me because I'm like, I get tired, and I'll say it in my life, like I get tired of supporting people that don't support me back. It takes like 10 minutes to jump on and make somebody's day that you're a new viewer or
Yeah.
you're a new follower. Or even if I know the person, hey sis, have a good day. That's all it takes is 2 seconds to type out a message. Like sometimes I can't stay on your live, but I'll say, hello, beautiful, how are you? Because I know you read your comments.
I do.
So
I
you
don't
know
always
I'm there.
I don't always respond to you guys, and you know
Right,
that because you've asked me
right.
before. If you ever come in here,
Why are
you
you
guys, and
ignoring
you
me?
yeah, if you ever come in here and you comment and I don't say anything, it's not because I'm mad at you or I'm ignoring you. A lot of the times,
She
and I know
sees
y'all
you.
watch me as I'm telling my stories, I'll be telling my story, and all it takes is like a little piece of dust going in front of my face, and I'll fucking literally lose where I was at. And it's like I get scattered brained, you know? And so
Right.
I get focused and I get going. And when I'm passionate, like this, telling my story like a few minutes ago, dude, I was so passionate about what I'm talking to you guys about because I am literally reliving it as I'm telling it to you. You know what I'm saying? And sharing
Right.
with you guys, like, I don't like sharing with y'all that God protected my son from me. Just me saying those words coming out of my mouth, like the fact that my own
Mhm.
child had to be protected from me while he was in my womb. You know what I'm saying? My womb lands.
Your womb land.
Did you see that here on TikTok? The
No,
womb
I haven't
land?
seen it.
Dude, there was this girl here on TikTok who started dating Modern Warrior, that Native American guy, and
Yeah.
he ended up like cheating on her with another girl. And she made a video and she said, I have a pain deep inside my womb. Lance is what she meant to say because his real name is Lance. But everybody thought she said womb lands, and they made a little rap out of it and everything. It was hilarious.
Oh my God. That's crazy. I didn't see that though.
It's funny. I'll have to send you the videos.
Clip
Cassandra
me the
knows what I'm
video
talking
because I
about.
want to see it.
I will. See the videos.
Clip
Cassandra
me the
knows what I'm
video
talking
because I
about.
want to see it.
I will. Yeah, Blunts, I love you, man. You know I gotta send you a message. I was thinking of that about you when I went to join the Cerebral app.
I've
Okay,
seen Blunts on my live, but I don't know who he is.
he's good people. He's good people.
Okay.
He's with me from the beginning.
Like I've seen him pop in and out. Not
He's
really
on the
say much.
Sublocade shot. He's on the Sublocade shot.
I've been thinking about that. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
But
me too.
seriously, I'd rather
I'm,
do it once a month, have one shot a month, instead of worrying about taking 3 pills a day and what people are. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you have a beautiful night.
I love you, girl. I'm going live at 7 with Rec Addy. He's going to come tell his story.
I love me some Rec Addy. Rec.
Yep. An hour and 15 minutes and he'll be on with me, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna let my phone charge.
All
So
right.
what
Love
time?
you,
That
girl.
will be 8 o'clock my time, right?
Yep.
Okay. I love you.
Okay. Love you too, baby.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
I don't know if y'all knew that, but yeah, Rec Addy is coming on to tell his story. Sorry, just popped a pimple, y'all. He's coming on to tell his story tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed me sharing my story and coming up and sharing and talking with me for a little bit. I just felt really led to share my story with you guys. I felt there was a lot of people on here who have got this like wrong idea about me because of what people are saying online. And that makes me sad. It makes me sad that people could be thinking I'm a horrible, mean, bad person whenever they could actually be coming here and getting help and having support. You know, I promise you guys, the last thing I am is a fucking evil, vile person. You know, when I make a mistake, I will own it and I will take responsibility for that. But I'm all about helping people. That's what I'm about. I'm a people person. Thanks, Jill. I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm not here, and I'm not going to degrade another woman on my platform. I'm not going to make fun of another woman. I'm not going to talk down on another woman on my platform. You know, the only mistake I said I made was saying what I said last year about not caring. That's it. And honestly, it's my prerogative, you guys, not to care. You know what I'm saying? If I don't want to care about somebody, I don't have to care about them. You know? But that's it. That's it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my story. I'm going to download this video and upload the story on YouTube. So if you guys missed it, y'all can watch it. But I got to charge my phone so that way we'll be ready for Rec Addy tonight, okay? Exactly. So we got an hour and 15 minutes, you guys, and Rec will be on here with me to share his story, all right? All right, guys. I love y'all. Be good, guys.